Now, viewers, amid the hectic political season in the run-up to the high-octane assembly elections, Times now also caught up with the working president of the BRS, KT Rama Rao. And being his usual fiery self, KTR has spoken on a multitude of issues, including the polarized assembly poll campaign, the controversy surrounding singer Diljit Dosanjh's dare to the Netas to declare their respective states as dry states. Listen in to this exclusive conversation with our senior executive editor, Madhavdas.
Joining us now is BRS Working President KTR, who's in the national capital at the moment. Mr. KTR, thank you so much for speaking to us here at Times Now. Let me begin by asking you, you're speaking in the middle of poll season. 20th is when we are going to be seeing elections in Maharashtra as well as Jharkhand. So I want to ask you first and foremost about the political climate in the country, because as we're heading into the poll season with these assembly elections, how do you perceive the narrative shaping up in these states? Many suggest that it has evolved into a contest between Ek Hai To Safe Hai and Vote Jihad. How do you see all of this panning out?
Well, unfortunately, Madhav, I've not been following the politics of Maharashtra or Jharkhand. In fact, I've been very busy, I've been kept very busy rather by the Congress government in Telangana and the kind of atrocities they have been perpetrating on the poor farmers in the Chief Minister's own constituency. So I have not been following the news. Yes, I do get a feed from my team, but unfortunately, I really have no clue about what trends are emerging and what narratives are shaping up, yeah.
Right. And as you've gone to the NHRC today, we also were scheduled to meet the National Scheduled Caste Commission, the Scheduled Tribe Commission and the National Commission for Women. Could you specify what are these atrocities that you're referring to?
Well, in the Chief Minister's own constituency, Kodangal, this Congress government had started the land acquisition process about 9 months ago. Now, the villagers there have started protesting in a democratic manner since 9 months. They have been peacefully protesting. They have been, demanding answers from the government. They've been asking questions, because the land costs about 60 to 70 lakhs. And, the government is only willing to pay about 10 lakhs. More importantly, in the last 10 years, the Congress leaders, including the now current Chief Minister, the then opposition leader, Mr. Revanth Reddy, he was going hammer and tongs against the BRS government who wanted to build a pharma city in about 14,000 acres. He alleged that, pharma means pollution and pharma essentially is going to destroy lives of people in villages and, nearby neighborhoods. Now, the villagers are asking the question and the farmers are asking the question, if pharma is as bad as you made it out to be, why are you forcibly pushing us into giving our lands away? More importantly, unfortunately, in the last 9 months, despite their protests, despite their persistence, neither Chief Minister nor the ministers, nobody responsible in the government was willing to offer any answers, was willing to even sit down for a conversation. Therefore, when a public hearing happened recently, a violent protest erupted. As a consequence of that, now more than 30 farmers are in jail, out of which majority are tribals and Dalits and also OBCs. Now, the question that we are asking in Delhi on behalf of these oppressed people is, why is Mr. Rahul Gandhi silent? Why is Prime Minister Modi silent to the plight of these farmers? Because Mr. Rahul Gandhi day in, day out talks about constitution, talks about OBCs, talks about how his heart bleeds for Dalits and Adivasis. But out here in Kodangal, where the marginalized sections are oppressed, Mr. Gandhi doesn't seem to actually have any time for them, any kind of opinion on this subject at all. So therefore, we have met with the commissions along with these victims, and we are hoping that these commissions will respond to their plea and issue notices to the government and demand answers.
Right, you're talking about social justice, but interestingly, amidst this political controversy that's ongoing between the BJP and Congress over Muslim reservation in Maharashtra, now Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy has stated that this issue will be addressed once the MVA government forms the government after the elections there, and he refers to Muslim reservations in Telangana as a precedent. He's added that it's the Congress party's quote-unquote responsibility to ensure justice for the poor and the needy. Now, how do you look at this particular statement? Because in the past, you have also stated that 4% Muslim reservation is not based on religion, but on socio-economic status.
In fact, whatever implementation that we had done in the last 10 years, reservations for Muslims to the tune of 4% were purely based on the socio-economic conditions. And in fact, if you remember, the Sachar committee, which had been constituted by UPA 1, had also recommended that the socio-economic conditions of Muslims are probably far worse than those of Dalits and tribals. So we took the same plea. We also, in our assembly sessions, back when we were in government in the last 10 years, we had passed a resolution in the assembly. We had passed even a bill and sent it to Government of India to enhance those reservations, purely based again on socio-economic conditions, not just for Muslims alone, even for tribals and even for Dalits. Unfortunately, the 50% ceiling that the Supreme Court has imposed on the country's reservation system, is definitely going to come in between, knowing fully well that the 50% embargo, 50% ceiling is there. Congress party is now trying to hoodwink people of Maharashtra, people of Jharkhand, and people of the country, which is again what they've become adept at.
Right. And today also Mr. Rahul Gandhi has criticized Prime Minister Modi's "Ek hai to safe hai" remark by taking a jab at Adani's Dharavi slum redevelopment project. The Congress leader has displayed two posters, one featuring industrialist Gautam Adani alongside Prime Minister Modi with the caption "Ek hai to safe hai" and another highlighting the map of Adani Group's Dharavi project. Considering that BRS has also targeted Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy for his association with Adani, how do you view this strategy by the Congress party?
Mr. Rahul Gandhi seems to have some kind of a split personality problem here because, he has this good Adani, bad Adani kind of a routine. We all know the good cop, bad cop routine, but now there is a good Adani, bad Adani routine. So Mr. Adani is apparently very good when he does business with Congress. Congress governments in Telangana, and when he gives a check of 100 crores to Revanth Reddy, he's very good. When he expands the cement industry in Telangana, he's supposedly very good. And when he sits with Mr. Revanth Reddy and hobnobs for 4 hours, he's apparently very good. But on the other hand, when Rahul Gandhi has a problem, when the same Mr. Adani is doing business with Modi ji, तो मैं बस राहुल जी से यही पूछना चाहता हूं, आप पहले तय कर लो, आप और रेवंत रेड्डी जी तय कर लो कि अदानी क्या है, फ्रेंड है या फ्रॉड है. आप पहले तय करने के बाद पूरे हिंदुस्तान को समझाना कि क्या गलती हो रही है. और एक और चीज भी मैं पूछना चाहता हूं माधव, if Dharavi with 1 lakh crore is a scam, then Musi project with 1,50,000 crore which Revanth Reddy is proposing is a far bigger scam. Why is Mr. Rahul Gandhi oblivious to it?
Right. Interesting. But, recently we've also taken another dig at Rahul Gandhi saying that you've cheated the women in Telangana by promising 2,500 per month to be delivered within 100 days. It's nearly 350 days now, and 1.67 crore women in Telangana are still waiting for the promise to be fulfilled, which I'm sure will never happen. What makes you certain that this promise is not going to be fulfilled? Is it the experience of guarantees that we are seeing from Karnataka to Himachal to Telangana that is prompting you to make this statement?
नहीं, कांग्रेस का तो आदत है माधव की हथेली में जन्नत दिखाओ, वोट लो, फिर गायब हो जाओ. तो राहुल जी तो अभी मतलब मशहूर हो चुके हैं और काफी प्रोफेशनल भी हो चुके हैं इस मामले में, क्योंकि कर्नाटक की जनता को चीट किया 5 गारंटी को लेके. फिर कर्नाटक में वहां के स्टेट के चीफ मिनिस्टर के इकोनॉमिक एडवाइजर कहते हैं कि हमारे स्टेट के फाइनेंसेस की हालत अभी ठीक नहीं है. फिर बाद में तेलंगाना आते हैं, वहां पे 6 गारंटी की बात होती है. और कल बड़ा अजीब सा लगा मुझे, राहुल जी बैठ के गप मार रहे हैं हमारे महाराष्ट्र के बहनों के साथ. उनसे पूछ रहे हैं राहुल जी बहुत हमदर्दी से कि हम अगर हर महीना आपको 3-3 हजार देंगे तो सालीना आपके पास 36,000 रुपया आ जाएगा, क्या करोगे इस 36,000 का. तो मुझे बड़ा अजीब सा लगा, क्योंकि तेलंगाना में भी ऐसे ही एक डोंग इन्होंने रचाई. 1 साल पहले कहा उन्होंने कि महालक्ष्मी स्कीम लागू करेंगे, 100 दिन के अंदर तेलंगाना में जितने 18 के ऊपर महिलाएं हैं उन सबको महालक्ष्मी स्कीम के अंदर 2,500 रुपया देंगे. आज तो 350 दिन हो गया. So we are tired of this rhetoric of deceit, rhetoric of deception, and this double standards of the Congress party, which they seem to have aced. So therefore, I was questioning him because his party is in power based on lies, based on deceit, based on 420 promises that they've used to betray people of Telangana.
Interesting, because Rahul Gandhi has repeatedly advocated for a nationwide caste census, and the Congress party has claimed credit for initiating the caste census now in Telangana. Does this suggest that Indian National Congress is walking the talk, especially considering that your claim that the entire caste census happening in Telangana is a cruel joke? Why do you say that?
It is a cruel joke, Madhav, because of 2 reasons. One, if you look at what is happening in Telangana, please send a couple of correspondents to Hyderabad and to the districts as well. You'll know the answers, because what they're doing in Telangana is not just a mere caste census. It is manual Pegasus that is being used, to retrieve information based on the socio-economic, getting the socio-economic details, political affiliation, and a bunch of other questions, almost 75 questions. So people are worried that, they will be profiled, they'll be excluded out of welfare schemes, and Congress will try and again kick them out of the guarantees that were promised, etc. That's point number one. Point number two, what is the ultimate outcome, expected outcome of caste census? 42% reservation in the local bodies, which was promised by the Congress party as part of their OBC declaration in Telangana. Now you tell me, the Dalits in Telangana are to the tune of 16%, who are scheduled castes, of course, constitutional provision. And then tribals are to the tune of about 10%. So between the two of them, they have 26% reservation already. There is an embargo of 50% as imposed by the Supreme Court, knowing fully well that more than 24% reservation cannot be offered under the current constitution without amending it. Now Rahul Gandhi and Congress party goes to town saying caste census is a panacea and we will be able to give you 42% reservation based on this. What else do I call it other than a cruel joke? Because you know fully well that under the current constitution you cannot cross the 50%, yet you want to fool people of Maharashtra कि हम तेलंगाना में कर रहे हैं, कल आपके पास भी करेंगे तो हमें वोट दीजिए. तो ये जो गुमराह करने की तरीका है, ये जो बार बार चीट करने का एक तरीका है, इसको मैं क्रूअल जोक ही कहूंगा, क्योंकि राहुल जी पूरी तरह से जानते हैं कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को अमेंड किए बगैर आप 50% रिजर्वेशन को, आप जो सीलिंग लगाया गया उसको ब्रेक नहीं कर सकते.
Right. Also, Mr. KTR, another issue, I mean, not strictly a political one, but of course the notice that the Telangana gave, prohibiting noted Punjabi singer Diljit Dosanjh from performing songs promoting alcohol and drugs during his Hyderabad concert. Today, Diljit Dosanjh's video has gone viral. You would have seen that. He's issued a bold challenge to all state governments across the country. He's saying that if alcohol consumption is banned nationwide, then he would permanently stop singing songs referencing alcohol. Why has the government across party lines failed to take a collective decision on this? And how do you respond to his accusations that he is sort of being singled out by the state government there in Telangana?
I have respect for Diljit. I wouldn't go into what Diljit said per se, but I'll say this. The same Revanth Reddy government, which apparently was forbidding Diljit from singing a song or using a certain word, was in fact penalizing certain officers of the excise department for not meeting their targets. उनको शराब जो पिलाना था लोगों को और जो टारगेट अचीव करना था वो अचीव नहीं किया, इसीलिए काफी सारे अफसरों को उन्होंने ट्रांसफर आउट भी कर दिया. तो रेवंत रेड्डी गवर्नमेंट को शायद दिलजीत को जवाब देना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अगर एक लफ्ज इस्तेमाल करना गलत था तो आपकी प्रमोशन, जो शराब बेचने की प्रमोशन और ना बेचने से आपने जो जिन को ट्रांसफर किया कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट ने, उसको लेके भी दिलजीत को शायद समझाना पड़ेगा और शायद माफी भी मांगना पड़ेगा.
Because the Telangana government has given its response. They are saying, and the Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Bhatti, is calling it a precautionary measure on the basis of some complaints that were received. Do you think that this is some kind of politically motivated statement in response to the backlash?
That's exactly what I'm saying, Madhav. That's exactly what I'm saying. These double standards where on the one hand, government is promoting alcoholism, transferring excise officers for not meeting their alcohol targets and alcohol revenue targets. On the other hand, forbidding a singer, whose freedom of expression is being curtailed when he wants to perform in the city. This is a joke. What they're running is not a sarkar, they're running a circus is what I say.
Right. Also, recently, when your name was taken, in fact, by the state government in the Vikarabad incident, and the police had mentioned your name, rather, in the remand report, you had said that the Chief Minister only knows two ways, that's real estate and supplying money to Delhi in bags. We are exposing them, and Revanth Reddy is trying to implicate cases against me and arrest me. However, Union Minister of State for Home, Bandi Sanjay Kumar, has questioned the Congress government's motive in not arresting former BRS minister, that is yourself, and with everyone shifting blame onto others, do you believe that justice is what ultimately remains out of reach in such situations?
Well, all I would say is this. If there is evidence that I have done something wrong, please take action on me. I have no qualms about it. Because, I'm a law-abiding citizen. End of the day, I am an ordinary citizen. Today, I am not in a government. So they can, of course, both Mr. Sanjay and Mr. Revanth Reddy can, do as they please. But I would ask them both one question. Today, why is the ED, which raided the Telangana Revenue Minister about 50 days ago, woefully silent? Why this deafening silence on part of both ED and Congress party, even after the raid, after 50 days after the raid? दोनों की तरफ से भी कोई जवाब नहीं. दूसरी बात, जब मैं एलिज करता हूं कि अमृत में स्कैम हुआ है और चीफ मिनिस्टर के ब्रदर इन लॉ को 1100 करोड़ का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दिया गया, केंद्र सरकार जो बार बार कहती है, स्पेशली प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी, हु सेज तेलंगाना हैज बिकम एन ATM फॉर द कांग्रेस पार्टी, व्हाई इज ही नॉट एक्टिंग? Prime Minister Modi also says our tax collections are bigger than triple our collections. Why is his department not acting? Why is his Minister of State for Home Affairs not talking about it? These are the questions people of Telangana are asking. And the nexus between the two, the RS brothers as they are called, Revant and Sanjay, this is also very well known in Telangana, and I'm sure in days to come we'll expose it thoroughly.
Right. And my last question to you, despite you as well as other top leaders of your party have led efforts against the state government under Chief Minister Revant Reddy on various issues, there appears to be some kind of a lack of a unified action plan, and that has reportedly left the state cadre in a bit of a confusion. What, in your view, is the future of the BRS from here on? We've seen, of course, exits, desertions, etc. take place. What is the plan of action from here on for you?
Well, the Congress party has lost 3 elections on the trot, 2014, 19 and 24 now. They seem to be okay. We just lost 1. So I think our future is very much, in good hands of KCRG. There is no confusion. There is no problems whatsoever. In fact, if anything, I think we probably went through the toughest 11 months of our existence in the last 24 years. A number of incidents have happened, but we have survived, and now is the time for us to thrive. In days to come, Madhav, I'm sure you'll talk to me about how BRS is forging ahead and how BRS is now, resurrecting like never before, like a phoenix, right?
All right, KT, I'd like to thank you so much for joining us. Of course, ending on that optimistic note there. Thank you so much for speaking to Times Now.